Hello everyone, welcome to Testing Hot New Makeup for June 2025. Today I'm going to show you how to achieve this makeup look using a full face of some of the hottest, most talked about, most viral new makeup releases. This month's video is going to be one my budget beauty besties are going to love because the majority of the products I'll be testing out today are drugstore and or just very affordable. I've only got a couple of high-end products that I will be testing out today. I've got products here to try from e.l.f., NYX, Morphe, Dior. So without any further ado, let's jump into testing hot new makeup. I've already gone ahead and applied a little concealer to my lids as primer and set with some loose powder. The eyeshadow palette I'm going to be trying today is new from Morphe. This one is called Flickering Sands. And today I'm in the mood to use a little tape for this look. I want to do like a really snatched cat eye. My regular viewers will recognize this tape. Normally I wouldn't call out my very chipped nail polish, but today I think it's going to be something that people will notice. I don't know why I didn't remove my polish before starting this video, but I'm here. I've already started filming. I'm in the groove, so we're gonna keep going. Back to the tape. I will have it linked in the description box of this video. And I'm going to start by taking a flat brush and dip into this ivory shade. And I'm going to place that right under the arch of my brow and actually a little bit onto the lid as well. I just noticed that this palette does have shade names on the back, so I will have them listed in a caption on the screen. Using the BK Beauty N13, I'm going into both of these shades right here. I'm just gonna dip my brush into the more neutral taupe and the orangier shades. Always tap off my excess, and I'm going to start in the outer corner of my eye, making little circles, and then blending in towards the crease. And now, as you can see, I'm doing a windshield wiper motion, and then I raise my brows and I bring it up a little bit higher because I do have hooded eyes. I'm gonna go back in, tap, 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 and just sort of build that up. Once again, starting at the outer corner and then bringing it higher and inward. Wow. These shadows are super buttery. The pigmentation is fantastic. Just what I like. And before I go any further, I do want to address why I always turn to the side when I'm doing my makeup on camera. That is because I honestly have no idea how people mount their microphones higher than where they're filming. Some content creators are very, very lucky. They themselves or someone they know or their spouse or significant other is good with sound and lighting. And so they have these really professional setups and are able to not have things directly in front of them. I have a microphone directly in front of me. And I also need, because of my I just hit myself in the mouth with a brush. I need a very, very magnified mirror. Otherwise, I cannot see what I'm doing. And oftentimes, especially when I'm doing detail work, I need to be I just hit myself again. I need to be super, super close up. And this Ilios mirror that I'm using here is like up to here. This is how tall it is. So with the microphone right here and the mirror right here, it would block the camera. So you either have to have a very good professional setup or you have to have really good eyesight. Otherwise, I don't know how you do it. And I am trying to be more cognizant of showing you the full look straight on, like coming towards the camera more. So hopefully that made sense and brings some understanding as to why I do what I do. There is quite a bit of kick up or dust up with the shadows when I was tapping. Now I want to try one of the shimmers, but I'm not sure which one. They all look so pretty. And typically I will always use my finger to apply shimmers. My expectation is that these shimmers will be like the ones in these artistry palettes where I don't need to dampen my brush. The pigmentation is going to be fantastic. So let's see. Now I've turned my mirror around because I, as I said, have to get very, very close to see what I'm doing. Wow, those shadows are pretty. Okay. We're going to start with this one right there. Finger. And yep. Ooh, that is such a pretty gold. Such a pretty gold. Well, I started to say, yep. These are just as pigmented as the Artistry palettes. Just covering the whole lid with that shimmer. Sometimes you just don't know if a gold is going to show up as being more of a yellow gold or a bronzy gold. I would say this is more of a bronzy gold, or I don't know. Let's compare it to this more yellow gold on the other side of the palette. I'm going to use my finger to swatch that. And then once again, go back into this one. Here's the one I used, and here is that more yellow gold. The gold in the corner is, in my opinion, a lighter, more yellow gold. I think I want to take a little bit of this shimmer, picking it up with the finger, and then patting it on the center, just the center of my mobile lid. Ooh, if you like shimmer, you are going to love this. So, so pretty. Now I'm going to go back with that first brush that I used in the crease. I'm not adding any more color to it, but I am blending everything up a little bit higher. Let's do a little dab of a darker brown on the outer corners. This is a BK Beauty A502. I'm tapping into the dark brown, and I'm just sort of patting that along my upper lash lines. Almost like as if I were doing a winged liner. It's a good thing that tape is there because there's quite a bit of fallout happening, even though I am tapping off the brush. And now I'm just continuing to build up that outer corner shadow. One of my eyes is more hooded than the other, so I do have to sort of play around with the placement. I love that this palette contains both a dark brown and a black. Very often I will use brown, a dark brown, as my liner, but since I'm testing out this palette and I want to use more of the colors, I am going to try this black as my liner just to see if it's a true black, more of a gray black, brown black, using another Morphe Makeup by Ariel brush, tapping into the black, and then just patting that right at the base of my lashes. It's kind of a soft black. I think if I wet it, it would be more intense. But being that I am in my 50s and have hooded eyes, I think a smokier look is nicer anyways. Even with the tape, there was some glitter fallout in this area, so I still have to clean up. I also like to clean up any eyeshadow that might have gotten into the inner corners of the eye because I'm going to put a different shadow there. Next, I'm going to curl my lashes using my favorite Kevyn Aucoin lash curler. And now I'm tight lining with this Urban Decay 24/7 eye pencil in Black Market. Okay, I do have a new mascara to try today. This is from Revolution. It is the Wrap Lash Tubing Mascara 24-hour Mega Length, Lift, and Volume. It has something called a 3-in-1 Maxi Brush. I did purchase the black. I think it came in 3 shades. It's very heavy. Well, not very heavy, but it's heavier than I expected. The packaging is kind of nice. It definitely looks more high-end, in my opinion. Let's look at the wand. All right, let's try it. All right, first impression. It is a wet formula, but it's not super wet. I have to remember to hold my arm down like this because I am left-handed, so if I go like this and start applying my mascara, the camera is going to go out of focus. And I am trying, again, to be more cognizant of certain things that happen while I'm filming. I will say that this dries pretty quickly. So while it starts off wet, you don't have that much time to work with it. Tubing mascaras are great because they wrap each lash individually and will typically make the mascara water resistant, sweat resistant. Basically, it gives you the effects and the longevity of a waterproof mascara without the harsh drying effects that waterproof mascaras can have. These type of tubing mascaras can typically be removed very easily with warm water, and you will very often see the tubes as you're taking your fingers to remove the mascara. You'll often see the tubes in the sink. So please don't be alarmed if you've never tried a tubing mascara before. Those are not your lashes coming out, it's the tubes. Okay, I think the mascara is nice. It's definitely a very dark black. It gave me length, it gave me some volume. Not enough for my taste, so of course, at the end of the video, I am going to pop on a couple individuals. It's just something I always do when I'm doing a full makeup look. I like to add just a little bit more emphasis on the outer corners, because my eyes do sort of turn downward on the outer corners, so that's why I do all of these tricks to give the illusion of a more lifted eye. But for now, we're going to move on to the face. And I feel like I am taking one for the team with this next product because it is not meant for my skin type, which is oily. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint Mineral SPF 50. This claims to have light coverage and a dewy finish. And if you know me at all, that is not what I typically go for. I am more of a medium to full coverage girly. I like a natural matte finish, sometimes just a matte finish. Dewy rarely works for me, but we're going to try it. This retails for $18, so it is on the pricier side for e.l.f. When this first came in the mail, I did think that it was a little small, but it is 1 fluid ounce, which is typical for most foundations or skin tints. So I picked up 5 light warm. This is probably going to be a little bit yellow for me, but where I purchased from was sold out of the light neutral, which is what I most likely need, but we'll see. I am going to apply it with a Stands Out sponge because anytime a product has light coverage, I like to use my Stands Out sponge because I feel like this gives me more coverage from even a light coverage product. And I'm going to put a little bit on the back of my hand. I will never do this. Well, I just did, but I will never be one of those content creators that pours product directly on their face. That's how much I put on. It's a little runny, but it is a lightweight skin tint. So let's pat it on. Oh, it's yellow, but I don't think it's too yellow. It does have light coverage. That claim is correct because it's not really covering my discoloration in this area. But let's see if it's buildable. I'm going to put a little bit more on my hand and add some more product. Yeah, I would say it built up. That is quite dewy. I think this finish will obviously be beautiful on someone with drier skin. All right, I didn't do too badly with the color. I'm really tempted to try using a brush on the other side, so that's what I'm going to do. My trusty brush number 7 from IT Cosmetics. And we're gonna pat that on. I'm starting to think maybe I'm getting more coverage with the brush, or it could just be the fact that I have less discoloration on this side to begin with than on this side. But at least this way you do get to see both methods of application. I feel like it was easier to spread as well with the brush. I just need a little bit more for here and here. Over the next couple of days, I am going to try using this, unless, of course, I am just an oil slick within an hour. I'm going to try this again using maybe my fingers and maybe a primer underneath. So look for a follow-up video on all of these products. The finish is beautiful, but those of you who are extremely oily skinned like me, you know that this is how you naturally look after about an hour or two. For a light coverage foundation, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with how well this evened out my skin tone. I'm impressed with how it doesn't appear to be emphasizing pores or texture. Of course, I do need to turn the mirror around and get a closer look. Okay. It is clinging. Oh yeah, it is clinging to my nose a bit. You're all probably having whiplash. Like, I'm raving about it and now I'm second guessing myself because I don't like the way it looks on my nose. Oh yeah. That's why when you have such poor eyesight like I do, you've got to have a magnifying mirror, because without it, I wouldn't know that it's not looking good through here. Maybe the powder and concealer are going to salvage this, but we'll see. I don't have a new concealer to try, so I'm just gonna grab one that's nearby. This is the MAC Studio Fix 24-Hour Concealer. It's a very, very good concealer. Very underrated. And I'm just using my finger to blend it out. I haven't used this in a while, and now I'm remembering that a little bit goes a long way, and I probably didn't need to use so much, but it really does a fantastic job of covering my dark circles. I'm gonna use less on this side. Once again, just using my fingers, and I'm applying a little bit to the sides of my nose, hoping to smooth out what the foundation did. Before I go into powder, I am going to try this new Morphe Sudden Heat Creamy Bronzer Stick. I purchased the shade Ignite. Very creamy, good tone. And let's see how blendable it is. Ooh. I really like the way this feels. Taking that same Heavenly brush number 7. Ooh, this is blending out really, really nicely. All right. Things are going well, at least with the eyeshadow and the contour or bronzing stick so far. Just not so sure about the foundation yet, or skin tint, shall I say. Here's me trying to pay attention to where I'm looking in the camera, allowing you to see both sides, hopefully, without going out of focus. If you watch my videos regularly, and perhaps you saw my most recent video, which was, what was it? I literally just uploaded it yesterday. Best makeup of 2025 so far. I'm telling you, the HRT that I am on does help with brain fog. Or I thought it had been helping with brain fog. Maybe not as much as I thought. Oh boy. Okay. What do we think? I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, I know it's supposed to be a bronzer, not necessarily a contour stick, but I'm liking it to contour the nose. Okay, now we can powder. Set the face, set the bronzer. So many of you have asked me to try this new Wet n Wild Photo Focus powder in the pink. I already used a little bit of it to set the concealer on my lids, and I was very impressed with how sort of silky it felt. I've always really liked the original Photo Focus powder. I'm glad they have it in this brightening pink shade now, and ooh, this feels very luxe, very high-end. And this is a Sigma Soft Blend brush. Tapping into the powder, tapping off the excess, and we're just dusting underneath the eyes and through the T-zone. And then I'm going to flip this mirror around again and see if it helped with what I didn't like on the nose. Oh, it definitely did. Definitely did. Wow. It is not garbage day. Why do I hear the garbage truck outside? Okay, you guys, this product, whew, this is really nice. really, really nice. And I think I spent $7. Of course, these are just my first impressions. I will have a caption on the screen as usual, letting you know how everything held up during the day, and or I will just do a video update on these drugstore products, because what I like to do is when I do have a handful of drugstore products that really blow me away, I like to do an entirely separate video on those. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell. You would not believe the amount of people telling me that they haven't seen my videos in months. They haven't received notifications. I haven't been in their subscriptions feed. Of course, I ask YouTube about it and they say, no, nothing's wrong. Everything's fine. But I digress. I'm using a Fenty bronzer. This is the Sunstalker in Island Ting. I'm using it because it was the closest one to me. If you watched that top makeup releases of 2025 so far, you would have seen me rave about the Laura Mercier bronzer, the Bronze Color Infusions. Those are so good. But once in a while, it is good to revisit some older products mixed in with the new. All right, I'm really surprised at how much I like the complexion at this point, because things were kind of up in the air there for a while. All right, it's time for brows. I've got two new brow products. One is the NYX Brow Glue Crazy Lift. And then I also have the e.l.f. Holy Strokes Micro Fine Brow Pen in taupe. So sometimes I will brush up my brows and then fill them in, especially if I'm using a brow pen. And then other times I like to fill in and then use the brow glue. So, okay. I think the best thing to do would be to fill in the brows with a pen first, so you can see how this works or doesn't work. And then go in with the Crazy Lift and see if I get that really lifted, feathery look. Although I hear that look is sort of going out now. It was in for such a long time, and now I'm hearing that people are going back to the skinny 90s brow. No, 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 no. I'm not doing that. I mean, us Gen Xers, we know about the overplucking. But if those Gen Zers want to do it, that's up to them. We're warning them. All right, shaking up the brow pen. I find that most brow pens do need to be shaken. I'm going to start with the arch of the brow. And actually, I'm going to, oh boy, once again, I have to be careful that I don't go out of focus. So I'm going to start at the arch. And I'm not getting much color. Not getting any color at all. Like nothing is coming out. Am I doing something wrong? Oh, hold brow pen upside down for 15 seconds. I've got the Jeopardy final question music playing in my head at the moment. Okay, let's try this again. Still nothing. Well, maybe a little bit. Yeah, a little bit starting to come out. Oh, there we go. It's just very light. This taupe is very, very light. I'd be interested to see what other people think who have purchased one of the darker shades. Okay, I'm glad I didn't glue down the brows first, because I'm going to go fill in with, I just had it, my Ravi brow pencil. Okay, that's better. Now let's try the brow glue. So from what I've seen, you're supposed to squeeze it. It's got these little bristles, and you're supposed to squeeze. Oh gosh, I need my glasses. I can't even see if anything's coming out. Okay, so I've squeezed some out, and let's do this side. Turning, so hopefully, oh, I got too much. Oh, way too much. Way too much. Oh my goodness. There we go. It's picking up every brow hair and just sort of laminating it to my skin. I'm not squeezing any more out because there's already still quite a bit on here. So just keep that in mind if you get this. Squeeze out very little. I gotta squeeze out just a tad more though. Okay. I actually think this applicator is kind of cool and useful because it's really grabbing those hairs, lifting them and setting them. All right, now I'm going to go back to the Morphe eyeshadow palette and using a pencil brush, I'm going to go back into that sort of orangey shade I used at first and run that along the lower lash lines. I'm going to take a little bit of this kind of reddish orange shade that I haven't used yet on a fluffy brush. This is just a brush I got on Amazon from the brand Jessup. Tap in and then just lightly dust it at the very tip or top. It's actually way more pigmented than I expected it to be. But that's okay. That is just fine. We're going to flip the brush around and blend it out. And now for inner corner highlight, I'm going to use this shimmering ivory from the Morphe palette. And yes, that is what I look for in an inner corner highlight. I can probably use this for highlighting my cheeks too, since I don't have a new highlighter to use. I'm going to pop a little bit underneath the arch of the brow as well, because why not? This is the new Dior Backstage Rosy Glow stick, and I went all in, meaning I chose the brightest color available, called Cherry. I bought this at the airport in Rome in the duty-free shop. Some nice packaging. It's like an extra large version of some of their lipsticks. And I don't know if I want to just swipe it on or if I want to use a brush or my fingers. I think I'm going to use my fingers. And blend. I'm loving this. It's dewy, it's radiant. The question is, will it hold up on my oily skin? All right, I like it a lot. Now it's time for lips. And the other Dior product I bought is this Lip Glow Butter in Lychee or Lychee. And I went for the brightest one available. How cute is this? It has a little Dior dangly thing on the end. I'm guessing you could totally use this over a lip color, but today I'm just going to use it over a liner, see how much pigment it has on its own. I'm going to line my lips first with my Artist Color Extreme Pencil from Makeup Forever in Anywhere Caffeine. And I'm going to put a little bit on my finger. It has sort of a like light minty scent to it. It doesn't feel sticky. It doesn't feel like real heavy and gloppy. I love the color. It seems like it's buildable. Do I probably already have 5 other lip glosses just like it? Yes. I'm really liking all of this together. So now you see the completed look. No lashes. I'm going to spray the One Size SPF 28 on Till Dawn. Well, I gotta open it first. And then I'm going to go to my vanity, pop on a couple corner lashes, fix my hair, put on some clothes, come back and give you my final thoughts, my final first impressions. And remember, I will have a caption on the screen letting you know how everything held up throughout the day. Oh wait, I did want to use a little bit of that ivory shimmer shadow from the palette here in the corner as highlight. I was feeling like I maybe didn't need highlight because the blush is so glowy, but why not? Why not add a little bit more glow? Okay, Now we can spray. I always do the first spray in the air. All right, there is the completed look. Now let me give you the rundown, beginning with the products that I loved. The Morphe Flickering Sands eyeshadow palette. There's nothing I don't like about it. I love the size, the packaging, the mirror, the color story, the pigmentation, everything about it. Yes, there was some fallout. Yes, there was some kick up with the shadows, but that happens with even some of my very, very high-end shadows. What I care about is the pigmentation, the longevity, the blendability, and of course the finished looks I can achieve. And this is such a good neutral palette to have in your collection. Maybe you already have a good neutral palette and you're thinking, do I really need one more? That's for you to decide. But I truly don't think anyone would regret adding this to their eyeshadow palette collection. It very well may become an everyday staple palette. I am definitely eager to go into Ulta now and see the other color stories in person. I also really loved this Wet n Wild Photo Focus powder in the pink. It really smoothed my pores and texture. It worked beautifully on top of my concealer. You get a good amount of powder for the money. No complaints here. The Morphe Stick Bronzer went on very easily, blended out beautifully. The color is great. Again, I'm using Ignite, and this is called Sudden Heat. It's a really good size for your makeup bag or for travel. This is definitely a winner. Two more winners are the Dior Cream Blush and the Lip Butter. This lip and cheek combo is just stunning. I personally am a fan of a lip oil or a lip butter that can be worn on its own, that doesn't feel sticky, that doesn't travel outside my lip lines. And I would know by now. I've had this makeup on longer than you probably think. I had to do a couple of things between the time I sort of fixed my hair and added my clothes. And if a lip gloss was going to run outside my lip line, it would have by now. The bottom line is, if you've been on the fence about adding one of these to cart, I'm not going to try and deter you. The products I tried that I think are fine, but they didn't wow me, are the mascara, the Crazy Lift Brow Glue. As I said, I do like the applicator. I think that's cool, unique, helpful. But did it give me a much different look than the other brow gels I already have? No. I feel like if you are in need of a new brow gel and you like the laminated look, this would certainly be a good one to try. But for me, I don't think it's going to replace my Bay Brow. Then we have the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint. I don't know just yet how it's going to hold up on my skin. As you saw in the demo, it does have a beautiful finish. It has light buildable coverage. It's very dewy, it's very glowy. Of course, I went and set with powder because I am oily. And I also felt like it was clinging to some dry patches. And I've been exfoliating pretty well. So the fact that it seemed to bring out dryness in my very oily skin is quite odd. So I'm going to keep playing with this. And I do believe as of right now, it's probably best suited for someone with normal to dry skin. I have seen videos of people with normal or normal to dry skin testing this out. I think it was over on TikTok, and they are just loving it. They're just raving about it. I have yet to see anyone with oily skin give this a wear test. So depending on how well this goes for me, and you will know by the time you watch this video because I'll have it right here, you know, that will determine whether or not I do another video on this. Perhaps I'll do a short, a YouTube short. I don't know. For right now, all I can say is it is a maybe. And then of course you saw what happened with this e.l.f. brow pen. Let me know if you have this brow pen and if you get much color from it, because I clearly did not. So this, as of right now, is a fail. And then the One Size SPF Until Dawn setting spray. I liked the setting spray before, and I like it even better now that it has that SPF. My face doesn't feel sticky. I am hoping that it will help to keep this looking just like this until this evening when I take it off, which will be probably about 10, 12 hours from right now. As usual, I will have all of the products and the shade names listed and linked for you down below in the description box of this video. I know I say it all the time, but I still get questions. I still get people asking where to find the description box. If you are watching on mobile, you will have to tap Show More in order to bring down that drop box. You also might be seeing links appear on your screen as I'm talking. Those are YouTube shopping links that unfortunately don't always take you to the shade that I am using in the video. So far, they haven't really worked that out yet where you can link the exact shade. So please do, if you don't want to go back through the video and listen to the shade name, you can see it in the description box. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, share it with a friend. I really appreciate that. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will consider doing so. I do upload new videos at least twice per week. You can also find me over on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook under the same username, Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.